need not define you or limit you. You are so much more than your symptoms, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. My name is Anindita, and I am a functional medicine certified health coach and a functional medicine practitioner. And I help women with autoimmune conditions discover their own power to heal with their bodies as their guide. And today I'm talking about why your symptoms need not define who you are, and why it did not limit you to a life, and how much that of life you can create in spite of your illnesses, in spite of all the restrictions that you may have. But I also know how hard it is to stop identifying ourselves with the labels that are either put on us, or that we are diagnosed with, or sometimes even self-diagnosed, whether it's maybe something like an ADHD, depression, anxiety, and of course all the other diagnoses that can come up with and the women that I work with, like severe chronic illnesses like autoimmune conditions. You likely see a lot of people with autoimmune conditions and other diagnoses who accept that these are incurable diseases, right? So the only thing that they can do is take medications for the rest of their life, follow certain treatments, and that's the best that they possibly can get. That's typically what most people end up doing. But let me ask you this: does everyone who get a diagnosis, who have got a diagnosis based on the bucket of symptoms, lead a good quality of life? Does everyone who focus only on medications, only on treatments, without getting involved, without taking responsibility for their own healing, are they able to create an environment for healing where they can be free of pain and suffering, right? Where they can actually fully explore their life's purpose and lead a meaningful life? Because as I will be talking about, no matter what situation we are in, there's always a way to find meaning and purpose, and actually growth happens through our losses. I was reading this beautiful poem by Erin Hansen. If you haven't read her poems, do check it out. She writes beautifully, and she touches you. She can really touch you very deeply. And a lot of it is about grief and losses, but I find it so poignant to connect those dots. And today only I was reading about how the losses actually are something that we grow through, right? That we go through. Because what happens is, for many people, they become stuck in some kind of victim mode. They're victims of their disease, they're victims of their condition, and as a result of their life, and they remain stuck here. And this was something that I would not allow to happen to my daughter. She was not yet 7 years old when her eczema had become so severe that it was sort of out of control, in spite of all the medications that she had been put on about a year and a half earlier. And I decided at that moment in time that I would not allow her health condition and her diagnosis to define her for at that time and at any point in time for the rest of her life, because she was so much more than her disease. She is so much more than her diagnosis, than her eczema. So this is something that I ingrained in her from a very young age. This was the mindset that I wanted to cultivate in her, and the same thing that I do for my clients, right? I remember a day where she was upset that she couldn't go swimming. Her friends were going swimming because that she used to scratch so much that the skin used to break, and then it used to sting. So it was very hard, right, to give up. And so there's so many limitations that come in when you're dealing with a chronic health issue. So at that young age, there were so many activities, there were so many things in her life that she simply could not do, like the other children, around her. And she learned, a lot through that time. She didn't have a choice. And she had to learn many difficult lessons early in her life, that there were so many restrictions that were imposed due to her condition. But this is what I told her, that you are not your eczema. You're so much more. You are a warm and caring person who has so much to offer in this world. You're supported by and loved by your family, and we will together find other ways and to enjoy, find other hobbies and do other things, even if you can't do swimming, for example. So we used to keep on trying, and she found table tennis, which was held in the AC room. So that used to help, because then she could actually do that particular sport. So that she did for a few years. Then she found horse riding. But the point I'm making is that you need to find a way to reclaim your power. You need to find a way to own your own healing journey, right? And I'm going to talk about a model that I use, because I'm going to talk about 3 ways that you can start doing it. So you have to decide to do this. It is as simple as that, but it is not easy at the same time. And that's exactly why I have created a model inside my coaching program to help my clients. Because what I want you to know is this: feeling like a victim of your condition robs you of your power to heal, right? So make sure that you understand this very well, right? And I'm taking you through what it means to own your healing journey. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I'll open it for a Q&A in a bit. So I know how hard it is to feel that your body or your life is in control when you're going through any kind of health challenges or any other challenges, right? But let's look at a few people as to what they have actually achieved in spite of their illnesses, in spite of their limitations, in spite of their restrictions, like just to know that what is truly possible when we decide to do that. So people like Stephen Hawking, a brilliant neuroscientist with a crippling condition called ALS, which basically put him in a wheelchair for his life. And we know the work, the contribution that is done to science, to physics, right? So that's one example that I want to share with you. Helen Keller, you may have heard of. She turned deaf and blind when she was a toddler. She went on to learn how to communicate, right? She graduated, she excelled in college, and she dedicated her life to helping others with disabilities, right? The Braille system. So Helen Keller is another example. Selma Blair, in today's day and age, she has multiple sclerosis, which is a very degenerative, progressive, neuromuscular autoimmune condition. Again, she refuses to be a victim of her condition, and she continues to act, she directs, she spends time with her son, she advocates for disability, again for other people. So these are people who have managed to thrive and live a fulfilling life, right? Their condition has not does not define them. Their symptoms does not again define them. Their identity is much beyond that of a patient, right? A victim in that sense. So they don't consider themselves as victim of their condition, and that's the difference. So and this is exactly what I teach my clients, because that's when you learn to access the inner power that you have, and then you can find ways to live a life with meaning and purpose, right? It is not defined by what situation you're in or your diagnosis in the case of any kind of health challenges. So you're actually fueled by the restrictions rather than being limited by them. So in spite of your health issues, your symptoms, or whatever other challenges that you may be going through, you grow through that, right? You find yourself, you find your other strengths, right? And that's what you maximize. And it starts with the change in your thinking, in the mindset. And this is exactly what I teach inside my own coaching program. And I'm talking about why you're so much more than your symptoms in today's session. So this is the DOTS step. This is part of the 3rd pillar. I have a 3-pillar framework inside my program, and the program is called Healing from Within, and it's a 3-pillar framework. And the DOTS framework is develop your healthy relationship with food. That's D. O is own your healing journey. T is treat your body with care and compassion, and S is start and build simple and healthy habits, right? So and I'm talking about the O today, which is owning your healing journey, because that's how you reclaim your power. That's how you start supporting your body's own healing process. And it starts by changing your mindset towards your conditions. And there are 3 things that I want to talk about today. Number 1 is focus on what is going right in your life, right? We are usually focused on what is wrong. There are many things which may be wrong, and that's typically the case with anyone for that matter. But especially if you're dealing with a chronic health issue, there are many things that are going wrong, but you also need to appreciate what is going right in your life, the way your body is working right now, and not just how it is not working, right? So view your body as something to support rather than to fight with. It's not your enemy. Make it your friend. That's one of the key exercises I take my clients through. So this shift in perspective is going to fuel you, is going to give you the energy that you need. Number 2 is engage in daily acts of self-care. Right? These all add up. We underestimate the power of these small, micro things that we can do every single day, and the small changes that we can make to our daily routines. I talk a lot about rituals, bedtime ritual, morning ritual. I'm a big believer in that. Setting routines, so I brainstorm with my clients how to do that, and I talk about it and I write about it. So these are very simple ways that you can incorporate this in your daily life. And lastly, pursuing your interests and cultivating hobbies, like things you liked as a child, right? We've all grown up and liking a particular thing, maybe an art or a craft, or building things or breaking down things, doesn't matter, as children till about the age of 12, and then a lot of us actually lose touch with that inner child within us, right? So again, going back to play, what did you like to play with as a child? Was it construction toys, model, what was it that you really like? Writing, painting, art, craft. So just pursuing your interest and maybe cultivating new hobbies, it helps us to build resiliency. So again, if you're dealing with a health issue, it helps us to cope with that. Even if you're not dealing with any health issues right now, even then it helps to build resiliency, right? It helps us to deal with whatever life throws at us, right? There will always be something that is going on. So learning new things really help in many different ways, and also helping others, right? When we are so focused on our own problems, we can really get bogged down. But the beauty is that when you actually also start serving others, focusing on others, helping others, that the lift that you get is amazing. The energy that you get is amazing. And that's something that I consider myself truly blessed, because the way that I can serve my clients, the lift that I get, the smiles that I get, is its own reward in a way. The sessions that I do here, the blogs, the posts that I write, what I share with you. So these are all my gifts to you, and it's a win-win for both of us, right? I feel amazing too. So let me ask you this. Do you want to continue focusing or feeling that your disease or condition has taken over your life? That your symptoms run the show, right? That whatever challenges that you might be facing, that's what's in control? Or are you ready to take responsibility